Please give it up for Michelle Buteau.
Motherfuckers, what is going on? What? You make me feel like a size 8. You really fucking do. What's up, New York City? How y'all motherfuckers feeling? Welcome to Late Night Whenever. I'm your host, Michelle Buteau. Here's my fucking musical sidekick, Rob Lewis. Oh my God, I am so excited, honey. Yes. Honestly, this feels like the wedding I always wanted. Do you know what I mean? If you could plan your wedding every week, what would that be like?
But you deserve this, Michelle. You deserve this.
All right, ladies, don't throw your panties to the stage just yet. A lot more show to do. We don't need all that stank so far. You all right? You're giving me Home Alone face, girl. I said stank. It gets stank down there. You better own your smells. It's the only ownership we have sometimes. This is a good part of my life, though. This is a very good part. I do feel like I understand those t-shirts that say, like, sexy and 40, because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Is that my new song? I don't give a fuck. Hi, sir. Walking in late. Old white man walking in late. Yes. It would not be a WNYC studio show if an old white man is not walking in late from his job at Liberty Mutual or wherever you working. Nationwide is on your side, honey. You've done your work. I love that you came. When an old white man in a suit comes to your show late, it feels like that part of every movie where like the parent finally makes the kids play. Like he chose me over his career. But this is a very special time for me, especially this year, because I just stopped returning stuff. Oh, a lot of y'all ain't there yet, but it's amazing when you buy it and you know you're gonna keep it. You think about that shit. I used to take everything back, Rob. I mean, everything. Being on TV, plus size, Macy's, thank you for returning everything. Taking everything back. Have you ever returned anything after you wore it?
Nah, I try to keep it. I do, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I still got some things with tags on them.
Okay, you
Yeah.
just haven't done it yet, but you probably end up keeping it. That's what I call adopting clothes.
Yeah, I keep it. Yeah.
Sometimes I save them. If they're on the floor, I'm like, I want to save you.
Yeah. I hoard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not returning stuff, which is great. I used to return shoes. Ooh, don't come for me. But here's a tip. You can wear them and then wipe the bottoms down with Amarol. Or an olive oil, anything oil-based. What a judgy fucking crowd. I thought I was trying to give you ghetto Martha Stewart tips, but you turned on a bitch so quick. Don't worry, these shoes I'm keeping. But I feel like even when I was broke, I think I did broke well because, I don't know, I have FOMO. Like, that's fear of missing out, sir. You knew that? Good for you. You got the Urban Dictionary app on your phone just open at a moment's notice. Nah, I'm good. I'm good at being broke. Leftovers, that's my shit. If I go into a green room and there's a vegetable plate, I'm like, I'm taking that shit home. I'm gonna have stir fry tomorrow. Or a quiche. Or a banging omelet. I don't know. This one time when I was living in LA, no shade to LA, but like I'm the only person that moved to LA and gained weight, okay? Nobody could hang out. They're like, do you want to hike? And I was like, who's chasing us? Why are we hiking? So hard to have dinner parties in LA. Everyone's fasting. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I was living in LA with my husband, and he's so cute. And my uncle, who's a priest in Jamaica, was going to be ordained the archbishop in Rome, Italy, at the Vatican. It's in Rome. Ow. So I know things. I got Google Maps. And I was like, wow, so many family members are going. I really want to go, but I was like, I really have no money. You know, like, I'm a comedian with back fat. He's a Dutch photographer with like ripped jeans. We ain't got no money. We can't even rent a car with like a straight face. You know what I mean? But I really, oh my God, when they're running your credit card, when you rented a car and you know you got like 3 hours to be there and it's 4 hours away. Oof, my ass is clenched just thinking about it. Ass clenched, jaw locked. That's the way I like to rent. Messy! Who brought napkins? I'm getting messy. So my whole family's going to Rome for love. And I booked husband and I tickets on Expedia, and they were like $900 each. Now, if you know anything about travel, LA to Rome is not $900. And we had 3 connections in 3 different countries and 1 hour in between connection. And I was like, I'm going to the Vatican, so I was like, I'm gonna get me a church hat. So I found the biggest church hat I could find, and then cut to me running in the Toronto airport, the Frankfurt airport, just like, I look like an extra from a Medea movie, just like, hold the plane, big ass hat, hold the plane! And it was in June, the end of June, I'll never forget it, because if you're ever like gonna go to Rome, don't go in June. It is hot as fuck. I mean, I was growing all types of stuff all over my body. It was like a chia pet between my legs, Rob. You know what a chia pet is, sir. That's your generation. So I remember, like, husband and I were so hot and sweaty, and we didn't have any money. We like booked a hostel too, and there was no pictures. But I was like, fuck it, maybe they didn't upload. And so we get to Rome, and we're just looking at the baggage belt, waiting for our luggage to come, and waiting, and nothing's happening. And I just looked at my husband. And I was like, God, this is like waiting for your luggage is like waiting for the results of an AIDS test. And he goes, why the fuck would you say that? I was like, good question. Our luggage didn't come. And here's like the beautiful thing about Italy. No one speaks English. Here's the terrible thing about Italy. No one speaks English. So we were like, where's our luggage? They're like, they're pointing to Germany on the map. I'm like, I think it's in Frankfurt. It was the worst game of Celebrity. So you know, like the address like in Europe are just like backwards. I'm just like pointing to this is where we at. And they're like, we'll send it, I think. And so we get to our hostel, and this is why they call it a hostel, because it makes you motherfucking hostile. Y'all with me? I mean, this room was so small, like between my lady bits and my husband's, sorry, he couldn't move without telling me, and I had to let him know when I had to like go across the room. It was like we were doing the electric slide. He's like, I'm going to the bed. I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom. I wanna move. Like, it's not okay. The bathroom was so tiny, it felt communist, like straight up. One of my ass cheeks was on the sink while my leg was in the shower, and I was like, I feel fine. Have you ever been booked in a hostel and just been like, the fuck this?
I don't fuck with hostels.
No, you're too cute for that.
Too cute for that.
You're doing it. You're keeping your clothes and booking hotels. You don't know this life. You don't know this life. And I remember it being so hot, but I was like, you know what? This is Italy. We haven't had a honeymoon. We couldn't afford one. So like there's cobblestones and like pasta and tomatoes that taste like sugar. I wanted to smuggle them in my ass. I was like, let's go have a trip. And we got a phone call from Lufthansa. They're like, we'll send your luggage tomorrow. We're like, bet. So we go off on this trip. We're like, Rome is amazing. It's like walking through a museum. Almost get run over by a motorcycle. Cool. The next day we call. We're like, yo, where's our luggage? They're like, oh, it's St. Peter and St. Paul Day. I go, who the fuck are they? Who the fuck St. Peter and Paul? They would have wanted me to have some luggage. I'm 24 hours into 92-degree weather on cobblestone. My panties are not happy. Ooh, my panties were not happy, Rob.
Okay.
No, for real. I've never been camping, but this was the closest. I was like, ooh, I feel like day 40 on Naked and Afraid. I don't know what's gonna happen. So we had to wait another 24 hours, and I was like, oh my God, nothing was open. None of the streets were open. The airport was shut down for St. Peter and Paul. I was like, shout out to those motherfuckers, who they? So the next day, we're like, where the luggage? They're like, oh, we have a 4-hour siesta. It'll come after 6 p.m. So I had to do the whole day. And you know, come on, y'all. I know one of y'all just like put your panties inside out once in a while. Look, even guys are like, maybe. I was trying to be frugal, enjoy myself with my family, looking at Italian stuff. It was terrible. And then I was like, you know what, babe, fuck this. We gotta go shopping for some panties. Like, I can't. So we go shop in Rome. Even the H&M is expensive. We couldn't afford anything. And my parents, my poor, poor parents, they felt so bad for us. They're like, just take a pair of our panties. And let me tell you guys, you don't know what life is like until you have sat down on a bed in front of your husband wearing pre-menopausal high-waisted panties while he's just sitting in the hostel wearing the man panties that my dad was wearing, punching the wall, me crying, drinking hot Chianti. Talking about it was supposed to be romantic. I'm gonna go wash my toe. The trip was crazy. Look at me trying to be cute on a budget, can't afford shit, okay? Our luggage was lost for 4 days. We were there for 5. Yes, hoes. And I felt like I was the butt of the family joke, literally. I was like, everyone's just like, oh yeah, what's that smell? I was like, shut up. I thought I was the worst one on the trip until one time I was having dinner. I think it was the third night, and I was having dinner. We'd have dinner together every night. We'd go off during the day, have dinner together. I have an uncle and aunt in Staten Island. I'll just say that. He's Jamaican, she's Spanish. They want to be Italian so hard. Like Italian, like his outgoing message is, you've reached Don Corleone. I'm like, the fuck? So I go, hey, what did y'all do today? She goes, we went to the Coliseum. I'm like, it's beautiful, right? Just, I can't believe it's still standing. She goes, meh. I said, meh. She's like, yeah, meh, I don't know, the Coliseum, it was under construction. Your uncle with his gout couldn't walk up the steps. There was no baked chicken, there was no jousting. This bitch thought she was in Atlantic City. I can't. And that was like, I can like understand turbulence, but I can't understand just missing your panties for 5 days in Rome. I mean, that was very anticlimactic. But it's crazy. Okay, so I just want to like give a special shout out. After all of that, my parents are here tonight. And this is another great thing about like being 40 is that you can start doing stuff with your parents and be like, no, I got it. So I flew them up first class. I know. Well, it's from Fort Lauderdale, so it was like 3 hours. It doesn't really mean it's first class if there's no TVs, but look, I did it. I just want to give a shout out to Marie and Michelle. Ayo. Dad, you've traveled to almost 60 countries. Has anything ever happened? So many things have happened, actually. There was the stuff in Philippines, Venezuela, and also tell us about the Africa stuff. What happened in Africa?
Michelle, for the past 20 years, you want to know what's happened in Africa. And I kept telling you that I can see how one can feel in a plane crash, because it was sad. And my job was to travel around the world. So after the crash, I forget the story. And I went along and I traveled for the 30 years after the crash. So I cannot tell you the story, Michelle. I
Okay,
forget
Captain Sully, thank you. Michelle Buteau, everybody. Senior, give it up for him. So secretive, Dad. I can't tell you what happened in the crash. So basically, I'll recap. Dad was in a plane crash in Africa. Somewhere in Africa, he won't let me know. It was a communist country. My mom bought him a Samsonite briefcase, and he jumped out of the plane on the briefcase, which helped save him. And she didn't hear from him for a couple days because he was in prison because he was in a communist country. I know. And the closest I've been to a plane crash is missing my panties. But I mean, that's...
Wow.
I know.
No, wow, your father. That's great. That's incredible.
Yeah. Dad, what do you think of this whole... Once you understand... My parents don't know what a podcast is yet, but we'll explain it to them later. But are you having fun, Dad? What's happening with you right now?
I'm having a lot of fun. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. That's the best time of my life.
You should have... I feel sad about that. But I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad. Mom, do you want to say something? She's like, hell no, bitch. It's weird. Like, I don't know if y'all do this with your mom, but like once in a while we'll just talk about something. We're like, how did that happen? Like today we were getting a manicure and I was like, do you remember when I hid all the purple vitamins under the couch?
Yeah, the purple Flintstone vitamins. We were cleaning under the couch and found all these vitamins. And we never saw when you threw them there, you know?
I know.
I mean...
Yeah. I took those vitamins like I was like in an insane asylum in one of those movies where I was like, check under the tongue, all gone. And then I put them under the couch. Do you guys have any words of encouragement for me while we're up here and you have an audience?
I can't believe that we're here listening to so much F and S and we're
Ma, you know, where did I learn it? You say fuck and shit all the time. She is a little Jamaican nugget that is like a fucking truck driver. Don't even act like it's me up here. Not doing it. And she's from Jamaica too, so I'll be on the phone. She's like, Raz, Claude, Bumba, Claude. Like, I can't. One time I remember running errands with my dad in Jersey. Crazy Haitian dude. He was picking up a stereo that somebody was supposed to fix, and it wasn't fixed. And then I remember him just going, if you're not gonna fix the stereo, then I'm gonna shove it up your ass. And then you bought me a bunny right after to bribe me. Can you confirm or deny? Okay, all right. Well, those are the Buteaus. I'm Michelle, Marie, Michelle, Rob Lewis, and we have more late night whenever.